Cut.
Greetings, this is the 8131 Cultural Group, and we are doing Xhosa. My name is Sizipiwe, this is Naledi, this is Temela, this is Belina, this is Sizi. This is Wandile, this is Apiwe, this is Mandumiso, this is Lomdu. Probably referred to as Xhosa. Those that speak Xhosa language are part of an ethnic group known as Xhosa. The Xhosa falls under the umbrella of the Bantu languages, and it is a representative of southwestern Nguni family. It is closely related to Zulu, Ndebele, and Swati. This language is rich in idioms. Xhosa is a tonal language, meaning that tone and reflection are used to distinguish between words that would otherwise have identical sounds. Xhosa contains many words with click consonants that have been borrowed from Khoi or San words. The click consonants are T, K, and K. Xhosa is unusual yet pretty sounding language. Many find it hard to learn because the consonants are uncommon. Xhosa is a very unique and a good language.
The Xhosa people are in Nguni tribe, mainly found in the eastern and western Cape, South Africa. There is a small but significant group found in Zimbabwe. Xhosa, their language is recognized as a national language. The Xhosa are the second largest cultural group after the Zulu cultural group. Xhosa is one of the 11 official languages spoken in South Africa, and in 2006 it was determined that more than 7 million people use Xhosa as a home language. Missionaries introduced Xhosa to the Western choral singing. Among the most successful hymns, Nkosi Sikelel' Africa was the one. It is found in the national anthem. Not all Xhosa-speaking people belong to the Xhosa nation, whose rulership descends from Amachawi, which is the Gcaleka and Amahahali. Some people make the mistake of thinking that all Xhosa people are Umzi Apalo. The house of Palo is split into Amagcaleka and Amahahali. The Xhosa chose to live on the ridges where they could find wood and water easily. The homestead head, Umninimzi, was the senior male of his lineage in the homestead. He lived with his wife, his unmarried children, and one or two of his improvised relatives. Division of labor was according to age and sex. The men looked after the cattle, and the women looked after the garden and prepared meals. Xhosa people were well established by the time of Dutch arrival in the 7th century and occupied much of the eastern South Africa from Fish River to the land inhabited by Zulu people in Durban. In the years followed, the Xhosa people were forced to move out since the expansion of Amazulu.
Cultural norms. Let us start off by defining what are cultural norms. They are the shared, sanctioned, and integrated systems of beliefs and practices that characterize a cultural group. They mediate the relationship between the ethnicity and the health of the individuals that belong to that particular cultural group, and they foster reliable guidelines towards a healthy living and the well-being of an individual. As I have mentioned in my definition, that they contain beliefs and practices. Let us start off with beliefs. There is a supreme being that they believe in. Some of them call it Uthixo, and some of them call it Uqamata. And then the second one that's in the middle is the ancestors, which connect the living and with Uqamata or with Uthixo. And then the third group is the people that are living on earth. And then under those people that are living on earth, there are traditional healers, namely the diviners, which is Amagqirha, the herbalists, which are Amaxhwele, the prophets, which are Izanuse, and then lastly the healers, which are Inyanga. And then under the practices, they normally engage themselves with rituals such as imbeleko, umpumo, and so forth. And the second one is initiation, and the examples of such are ulwaluko and indonjane. And then the third one is firsts. Coming to Christianity. Christianity was established in the 1820s, and the first Bible translation was in the 1850s by Henry Dartmouth. Not all the Xhosa people followed the Christianity because they were so focused on what they had believed in at the time. But as time went by, huge numbers of the Xhosa cultural group followed the Christian belief. Coming to isiduko, which is the clan, it is very important because it identifies an individual of where they come from, who they are, and who are they related to. And if an individual doesn't know his or her isiduko, which is the clan, he or she is regarded as ubukhanuka, which means lack of identity. They are passed on from generations to generations, which is why we do have relatives in different places, and we've got ancestors as.
The Xhosa people perform different rituals for different situations. I will be concentrating on a ritual called imbeleko. Directly translated, imbeleko means to carry on your back or the process of giving birth. So initially, this process was done after the 10th day the child has been born. However, the Xhosa people have now decided to do the process or the ceremony after when the child is a bit older. This process contains slaughtering of a goat. A piece of the forearm of the goat is then offered to the child to eat. And this piece of meat is big, hence it's now been decided that it should be done when the child is a bit older. The elders of the family normally are the ones that will speak at the ceremony to ask the ancestors to guide, protect the child. The skin of the goat that has been slaughtered then becomes sacred to the child. They then, in future, if or should the child feel sick or fall sick, then they are able to introduce the child with the skin that has been slaughtered.
Cultural values and the core principles and ideals upon which an entire community exists. In Xhosa culture, females are not allowed to have sex before marriage. They have to take care of their body and they have to keep their virginities for their husband. If one falls pregnant, that becomes a disgrace in the family. In Xhosa culture, children are not allowed to sit with elders while they're having a serious conversation because elders believe that they will become gossipers or liars. In Xhosa, we were taught to greet elders, we were taught to greet whoever you come across on the road. That is a symbol of respect, and that states what type of home you're coming from. Lastly, wives are expected to respect their husband by cooking for them, by taking care of their house chores, and lastly, by how they dress.
Xhosa cultural clothing. Xhosa culture is a traditional dress code informed by the individual social position, portraying different stages of life. Other Xhosa clothing includes beadwork and printed fabrics, although in general Xhosa lifestyle has adapted to Western traditions. There are still people who wear their traditional attires for special cultural activities. The color of garments and beadwork differ from one tribe to other due to their different styles of dress. For example, unmarried women wear wraps around their shoulders, leaving their breasts exposed. Engaged women retain their plaited hair and let it screen their eyes. This was done as a sign of respect to their fiancés. Married women wear headdresses to cover up their heads, as it is also a sign of respect to their husbands. For men wear inqawa, a white and black blankets adorned with Xhosa. Men wear belts around their knees, necks, which is called isichebe, a short bead, and isidanga, a long bead, with different colors. Men wear beads around their wrists and feet, called amaso. Beads that are worn in the head are called umnqa and igwala. Women wear beads on their wrists, necks, waist, head, and feet that are called insimbi or amaso. These are small wires of flexible material made.
Today I will be representing gender roles in the Xhosa culture. In Xhosa culture, a livestock is very important and it represents the wealth of a man. People that are responsible to look after the livestock are the boys. Men are only there to supervise the boys. During the cultivation period, boys and their fathers will make an oxen span for cultivating the farms. This will be done in the early hours of the morning and late afternoons. During this period, women and girls will do the domestic chores such as cleaning and cooking. After harvesting, women will relax outdoors, smoking their pipes, and men will continue supervising the boys with the livestock. In the afternoons, boys will go out and bring cattle home. After that, they will go out for stick fighting. Sometimes they go and hunt the wild animals. Girls will go to the forests and collect the firewood. Their duties will continue until they reach the adult stage. Girls are always close to their mothers, and sometimes they substitute their mothers by looking after their young.
In addition to what my fellow group member has just mentioned, I would like to highlight on the artifacts, which are mainly objects that differentiate the Xhosa tribe from other cultures. To begin with, Xhosa people were and are still today known for their magnificence and variety of their beadwork. They sew their beads in a textile skirt known as isikaka, umbhaco, and napkins. There are also other beadworks that you can find from the Xhosa people, such as lacy-looking collars, beaded bags, headband, necklaces, and bracelets. They all have a conventional pattern designed in it, and it is still worn as a sign of respect, more especially when there is a traditional ceremony. There are also other beadswork that you can find from Xhosa people. They do amakuko, such as they use amakuko as a floor rug to sit or to sleep on, isitebe as a tray or a chopping board, incluso to hold back grains when they are preparing the African beer, umqombothi, as well as isingqusho, which was used for grinding maize to make imilimili. As well, they did iselwa, the calabash. They left it to dry and open a hole on top and store amasi, which is sour milk. Inqawa, the smoking pipe, which was made from a strong, hard tree. I thank you.
The modern Xhosa people are people who are currently found in the Eastern Cape, a place which is situated in the midwestern part of the country of South Africa, where the soil is well nourished and easily yielding vegetables and fruits in abundance. The Xhosa people consume a staple food which commonly consists of starch and protein. The most common Xhosa dishes include umphokoqo, which is porridge that can be enjoyed with a variety of soups such as umleqwa or mfino.